Good morning, everybody. Oh, maybe I don't need this. I'm loud enough. I'm the quiet one. Can you all hear me at the back there? You can't. Okay, so I'm going to have to use this. All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Regenesis Business School. I'm Deborah McFell. I'm Head of Service Delivery and Admissions. We've got a jam-packed day for you today with the whole orientation. You're only going to leave at probably about 5 o'clock. We are going to obviously have our head of dean here. We're going to have our academics. We'll introduce you to our staff. We've got group work. We're going to go through the student portal. We're going to go through assessments. So I'm glad that there's so many people that have pitched today, because it's very, very important that you get a clear understanding of how everything works. So I'm going to introduce Penny Law, Dr. Penny Law. She is our dean, and she's going to do our first presentation. Welcome, Penny.
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. It's really nice to see a room full of people. Just notice how you're feeling now, because I think many of you are feeling quite anxious. When we see each other again, either in 2019 or in 2020, the energy will be quite different. And at graduation, I will remark on this. So before we start, I have to do an exercise, okay? Just take a deep breath in, inhale and exhale. Bend your head forward. Try and touch your chest with your chin. Bend your head back. Rotate it very slowly to the left and then to the right. Lift up your shoulders and rotate it back. Okay, now we can begin. All right. What is a context? What is the world in which we live in? We're sitting with an unemployment rate of 20.7%. The youth unemployment rate is 55.9%. The extended version is 67%. Okay. Of this, 77.3% of graduates are unemployed. And the reason for providing you with these stats is not to frighten you, but to expose you to the reality in which we find ourselves. We're operating in a VUCA world. Does anyone know what that is? We're operating in a world that is volatile, that's uncertain, that's ambiguous, that's chaotic. And if we do not understand how to traverse this world, we will end up being that, or increasing that stat. Last year I attended a panel discussion that was at across the road at Sandton City, it was a LeaderX expo, and it was all businesses and business schools were invited to it. And the discussion was about whether business schools were preparing their graduates for the world of work. And one panelist said that this was a global CEO, and he said that he had employed top graduates from the most prestigious international business schools. Think of all the Ivy League business schools. He had to fire 50% of them. And why? Because these people weren't prepared for the place of work. They couldn't problem solve. They couldn't think analytically. They were very smart. They were book smart. They could crunch numbers. They could look at spreadsheets. But they weren't able to apply what they had learned to the workplace. Yesterday, we had a meeting with, he was the head of the IFC, the International Finance Corporation. He was the head, isn't it? And this is a division of the World Bank. And he was saying, this is what he was saying, The new economy needs skills, not degrees. We need a different kind of person for 2020. We're entering a new world characterized by the fourth industrial revolution. You've heard it. Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, robotics, all that kind of stuff. And how prepared are you? What does our new economy require? And so based on the discussion that we had with a person from IFC, from the World Bank, he was saying that the top 10 skills required for 2020 are complex problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, people management, coordinating with others, emotional intelligence, judgment and decision making, service orientation, negotiation, and cognitive flexibility. Recently, I wrote an article that looked at how we can future-proof our graduates. And this was in direct response to what the global CEO said about firing half of the MBA graduates that he had employed. And so in order to future-proof ourselves, we need to imbibe certain perspectives. And the first perspective is to have no box thinking. So if you look at IBM, they were saying think out of the box, right? What did Apple say? Think no box. Think no parameters. We're operating in such a fluid world that is changing so dramatically that our current ways of thinking are outdated. And we need new ways of thinking. We need to think local. Global, so that's not a spelling error. We need to think globally, but act locally. Okay? And that's a challenge. We can't escape the fact that we're operating in a globalized economy. But we cannot just adopt global practices willy-nilly. We need to ensure that they're relevant for our particular context, and that's your challenge. Emotional and spiritual intelligence. Emotional intelligence, the ability to manage, identify, and manage your own and other people's emotions effectively. Critical, absolutely critical. And I'll speak a little bit about this later. Spiritual intelligence is not about religion. It's about understanding your highest purpose, why you're here. And if you don't know why you're here, then it's a concern, because that purpose must guide you. It must inform the decisions. It'll help you to inform the decisions that you make in your life. But don't be worried if you don't know what your purpose is. We can guide you. And we have Dr. Abby, who runs the LECQ, the Leadership Emotional Intelligence module. And that module is dedicated to understanding why we're here and how we can make a difference. The next perspective relates to strength multipliers. And that is how we can harness each other's strengths. So we operate in a world where we just focus, not just, but we mostly focus on negatives. Okay? And instead we need to change our paradigm to look at how we can build onto each other's strengths, maximize each other's strengths. And when we do that, we unlock potential. And the final perspective pertains to the maker instinct. We're living in a world where current solutions aren't relevant. And collectively, we need to club together as teams and collaborate to make solutions, to generate new solutions to very complex, unknown problems. And so Why have you chosen Regenesis out of all the business schools? Okay. All business schools focus on IQ, the ability to think critically, analytically, problem solve, meta-analyze, evaluate, all those good things. We do that. What makes Regenesis unique, different, is that we focus on emotional intelligence. And I define what it means, but it's about establishing relationships that are impactful, where you can manage conflict, where you can encourage cooperation between individuals. What makes Regenesis unique is that we focus on SQs, or spiritual intelligence, okay, where people understand what the true north is. And when you understand what your true north is, then it's much easier to make difficult decisions, because it keeps you on course. It enables you to be proactive instead of reactive. It ensures that you take responsibility instead of blaming. It helps you to rise above adversity. Bad things happen to bad people. Bad things happen to good people. And people with high SQ learn from the experiences. They don't blame. What makes Regenesis unique as well is that we focus on PQ, physical intelligence, understanding how to manage stress. We like balloons. Imagine your body like a balloon. And every day you're just pumping stress and stress into your body. And at some point it's going to explode. And so if you don't know how to manage your body, you're going to pop. So part of what we do is to help you to manage your stress, to understand how to eat healthily, to try and promote a healthy lifestyle, healthy eating. And the first exercise that we did this morning was a start to that. How to release negative energy, unwanted energy. There's too much negativity in this world. Don't store it inside of you. And the other intelligence that we focus on is FQ, financial intelligence. And we want everyone to achieve their financial freedom. Okay? Because I think you're familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay? And so the top need is being able to self-actualize. And you can't self-actualize, if you're concerned about basic fundamental needs related to security and addressing your physical needs. And so we do have, as part of your financial management module, a component that looks at personal financial management. Okay, and we introduce you to skills of investing and how to invest and how to manage your finances. For us, that's critical. So that is what sets Regenesis aside from all other business schools. Okay, we're not only about IQ, we're about developing a holistic person, a person who is prepared for the future. So all these things that we spoke about are components that we weave into our programs, into your degree. We pride ourselves in personalized service. So you will be, if not already, you'll be introduced to your PPM, which is your personal program manager, or your PPA, which is your personal program assistant. And they will assist you throughout this program. It can be very lonely studying. And so the PPMs and PPAs will become your friend during your stay at Regenesis. We have what we call fifth generation materials. We have interactive digitized study materials. we are applying for AMBER accreditation, and the one person coming to assess us from the UK looked at our materials and was flabbergasted by how advanced and interactive they are. And he travels all over the world assessing different institutions and looking at their offerings. So use it. I mean, it's amazing. A lot of effort goes into developing these materials. You can access your materials from your cell phone, from your tablet, from your laptop, from whatever. Please use it. Interact with your team. Speak to us. Okay, so don't keep quiet. Please, please, use this material. When you're in class, you'll be trying to figure out someone's accent, wondering which part of the world they might hail, and that's because we have an international faculty. Okay, we have faculty who come from top institutions from around the globe. And what is very powerful about them is that they bring with them rich experience, both academic and industry experience. So they talk with great gravitas. And I hope that you will enjoy learning from them and from their global perspective. We are promoting international partnerships and opportunities. We are about to launch our BRICS program. It's an executive leadership development program where we have created partnerships with different institutions in the different BRICS countries, and we want to send executives to the different BRICS countries. But what's powerful about this is that we have partnerships with the leading institutions in, well, part of the BRICS countries. Okay, so one of them would be CELAP, the China Executive Leadership Academy of Pudong, which in my opinion is one of the most leading leadership institutes in the world. State of the art. Okay, and advanced in terms of how they develop leadership, where they attach you to biometric machines to help you to control your way of thinking and your heart rates and all that kind of stuff, like super advanced. And so hopefully, if you are wanting to join us on the international study tour, you will be able to visit some of these top institutions with us. We also have opportunities where if you want to work overseas, we can place you overseas as well. So there are a lot of global opportunities that we can offer you as a business school. We are not just Regenesis South Africa, we are homegrown, but we have offices both in Nigeria as well as in India, Mumbai. And we also have students from Nigeria and India coming to study with us. So we are a global institute, and we've got students from over 150 countries studying with us, and they do this online via distance learning education programs. We have My Wealth Investments. If you saw the video, you would have seen that it's about being able to invest your money. We have Denanda Talent, which is a recruitment and placement agency. So if you, I shouldn't say this. I was going to say if you're looking for a new job, then we can assist you, but please stay in your current job. I don't think your employer will be very pleased if you leave them right now. We have Regenesis Foundation, and Dr. Marcus Sharavanya will speak about this later on. But what makes Regenesis unique is that we committed to transformation. Transformation as a country, transformation of society as a whole, the world, but especially our own personal transformation. Because you can't change other people unless you change yourself first. And that is the underlying philosophy of Regenesis. But what is this experience really going to be like? Okay, so in order to really understand what your experience is going to be like, I'd like you to please engage in this activity. It's only a 1-minute exercise. And what you need to do is to find a partner, okay? Someone that you can work with, so pair up with someone. And what you need to do is to face this person and gaze into this person's eyes for 1 whole minute, for 60 whole seconds. And I'll tell you when to begin. So everyone, please find a partner. Okay, I'll actually time you. Okay, are you ready? Starting from now. And this exercise has to be done in silence, please. Who else does not have a partner? We will find a partner for you. Lucky you. 15 seconds left. 10 seconds. Okay, you can relax now. How did you find this experience? Shout it out. You put your hand up and then shout it out. Awkward. Thank you. Okay. Or can you see this? Okay, interesting. Too long. The longest minute in your entire life. Too long. Nice, thank you. Right at the back. Sorry? Hilarious. Who was your partner? Hilarious. What else? This side. Anything? Yes, yes, ma'am. Uncomfortable. Thank you. I hope you can all read at the back. Anyone else? Scream it out. Exciting. Okay, one last person. One last person. Yes. Challenging. Thank you. Okay, that says challenging in very neat handwriting. In 60 whole seconds, in 1 minute, you experience what this qualification, what this program is going to be like. Exactly. It's going to be awkward. You're going to be sitting there feeling awkward, thinking that other people know more than you know, but they're thinking the same thing. It's going to feel really long. You're going to be sitting in class and looking at your time. You're going to be sitting at night, on a Saturday, on a Sunday, writing your assignments and wishing that this were over. It's going to be uncomfortable. We're going to be challenging you. We, as facilitators, try to create what we call cognitive dissonance. Okay? Where you're coming with fossilized information. And in order to unlearn what you already know, that fossilized knowledge, we have to challenge you. We have to create a perturbation so that you will rethink what you thought was appropriate knowledge. And we're going to make you very, very, very uncomfortable. But there'll be a point, and I'm not sure when that will be, and I hope it'll be quite early on, where you'll experience this program as not only this, but also challenging, where you're feeling as if you're being exposed to new ideas, new thoughts, new skills, new tools, new theories that are directly applicable to your own business or to your workplace. You'll find it interesting. Where you'll want to read your study guides instead of watch TV. You'll want to start engaging with colleagues about higher thoughts, about things that you learnt in class. You'll find it funny, hilarious, and exciting, where this is going to fuel your soul, fuel your mind, energize you. And that's what we want to achieve. Is there a student coming? You know that student who's going to graduate this year? Is he coming to speak? We've got a student who enrolled for his MBA last year and is graduating this year. Full-time job. He's done his dissertation, finished all his modules in 1 year. 2 years. Okay, 2 years. Okay. But cum laude, graduating cum laude. We also had another student who is who occupies an executive position at one of the banks, one of the top banks in South Africa. She was recently promoted. She did her MBA. She also finished within the required time frame, and she also passed cum laude as well. And so the reason why I'm sharing these two stories is because we always find excuses as to why we can't submit on time, or why we need an extension, or that it's too hard, or too whatever. You know what the adage is? If you want something to be done, give it to a busy person. Okay? Because busy people find the time, create plans in order to ensure that they're able to complete their tasks, to perform. They find better ways to optimize their time and to operate efficiently. And so I'd like to share a few success factors to help you along this journey. And the one thing is to stay focused on your vision. One principle of spiritual intelligence rests on the notion that what you think, you become. So whatever your thought processes are, you will create that reality. Whatever you think, you will create a particular reality. And so if you want to change your reality, the theory is that you change your thoughts. And this is firmly embedded on quantum physics. And when Dr. Abby takes you through that course on emotional and spiritual intelligence, then she'll expose you to some of the experiments done to prove this theory. And so how you think about your postgraduate diploma in business management or your MBA will determine the outcome. And the first thing to consider is to be very clear on why you're doing what you're doing. To stay focused on your vision. And one aid that might assist you is to create a vision board. Some of you might be visual learners, and if you are, then create a vision board of what you want. A photo of yourself graduating or something that will remind you why it's so important to do this qualification. Anything that you want to put on this picture board will help you to achieve what you set yourself out to do. The other thing is to stick to your plan. Okay. You'll be meeting Dr. Sharavanya later, and one of his secrets in success is that he's very, very good at planning. He's quite militant about planning. But that's why he's so successful, and he sticks to it. So when he was doing his PhD, he'd wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, work from 4 to 6, and then do a full day's work, and then a full days of work, and then go back to his studies after that. Very, very disciplined. And so it's critical to stick to your plan. Don't just develop plans and think that now you absolve from doing any work because it makes you feel better. You have to actually implement it. And that's the difference between people who are very effective and ineffective. People who are effective understand the power of execution, the ability to implement. Don't procrastinate, just do it. Which brings us to eat your frogs. I'm a vegan, so don't propagate eating real frogs. It's a metaphor for things that you don't like. It's very, very easy to want to ignore one's problems. It's a natural instinct to almost run away from our problems. But in this situation, you have to face your problems. Just eat your frogs. Just do it. Just work on your assignment. Just read your articles. And all these tips are directly transferable to your personal life and to your professional life as well. Keep the pot boiling. Some of you might have studied a long time ago, isn't it? 10 years ago? Put up your hand. 5 years ago? 2 years ago? A year ago? Okay, so if you studied a year ago, it's much easier for you because you're already in that study mode. But if you studied 10 years ago, you can still get into that mode. Just do it every single day, religiously. Okay, so you know a pot of boiling water? It takes a long time to get it up to boiling temperature. But then you just have to turn it down and it keeps simmering, right? It keeps that high temperature with just a little bit of energy. So you don't want a situation where you kind of study, and then you stop. And then like just before you have to submit your assignment, you study, and then you stop. Okay, because it's going to take a lot of energy to get into your readings, to find your mojo, to be in the zone. Rather be consistent every single day. Spend 1 hour studying. Ignore the noise. Oh man, there's so much noise. So many distractions. So many things that sound and seem so much more attractive. Suddenly, watching a dumb TV series is more exciting than your books. Going shopping is even more appealing. And then there's noise in the classroom. You know, we find this. You know, people get fixated on the fact that the water jug was not full. It was only half full. And students start complaining about this. They start complaining about this and this and this. And then they want to like involve all the students to talk about water. Don't get distracted by this. It's noise. Focus on your studies because that is what is going to get you through. Okay. If other people want to get distracted, let them get distracted, but don't get dragged down by the noise. Stay focused on why you're doing what you're doing. Okay. Keep your course. Get support from your family and your friends. So when those of you who are doing your MBA, you were interviewed by a senior academic. I think most of you were interviewed by the academic head, Dr. Abby. And she probably spent a lot of time probing your home situation, your professional life. Are you able to cope with this? Are you really committed to this? Do you really want to do your MBA? Who is there to support you? Do they know what they're getting into? Do you know what you're getting into? Okay. Our CEO, Leonie Grobler, is laughing because she did an MBA and she knows all about it. It's tough. Studying is not easy. And in order to succeed, you need the support of your peers, your colleagues, your loved ones. Include them. Share it with them. If you learn something exciting, share with them. Okay, that's how you include them. Tell them what you're doing. Don't exclude them. Okay. They can look at our videos. We've got interesting videos on our portal. You know, allow them to participate. Please don't let them write your assignments. Okay, they can't participate in that way. Whatever happens, do not give up. I know that it's so easy sometimes to throw in the towel. Please do not give up. Call us. We are here. You know, when I studied at WITS, I did psychology, and our Psych 101, Psychology 101, comprised of a class of 600 students. We were just a number. And our lecturer said, by the end of first year, 50% of you would have failed. By the end of third year, 50% of those 50% would have failed. So in our third year, we were a small group. There wasn't this personalized attention. I was just a number. I was just a student number. But we care about you. And when you're about to give up, or not when you're about to give up, when you're just feeling that you're struggling and you can't cope, call. Please, speak to your friend, speak to your colleague, call us. Don't give up, whatever happens. Don't give up on your vision, your dream. There's never the right time to study, ever. I know. There's always something more important, bigger, more important in your life. Kids, work, new promotion, new job, a death, marriage, new relationship. So many reasons to not study. I know people who have put their studies in abeyance for 5 years, and they could have finished with their MBA. And it's tragic. I look at them and I just think, you know, if they had just stayed the course, they would have had their MBA. They would have started with their bachelor's and completed with their MBA in 5 years, maybe 6 years. They could have done it. Now they don't have any degree because we always find excuses to not study. Please don't fall in that trap. So persevere. Don't give up. We're here to support you. So there's a small team here, but we're actually a very big team. My final slide, no, actually I've got 2 other slides, but this is like the main one. I'd like to share a few quotations with you that I thought might be apt. Almost every successful person begins with 2 beliefs. The future can be better than the present, and I have the power to make it so. What you think you become. Start with your vision of where you want to be and believe that you can achieve it. The true measure of success is how many times you can bounce back from failure. You might not do well in your first assignment. That's okay. Don't give up. How will you learn if you don't make mistakes? And that's an important characteristic of spiritual intelligence, learning from adversity, learning from our mistakes, not giving up, staying our course. If you don't want sacrifice for what you want becomes a sacrifice. And in order to graduate, in order to be at either the 2019, 2020, or 2021 graduation, it involves sacrifice, but it's worth it. Because you will have your degree, and that degree is going to make a huge difference. People say degrees don't matter, blah, blah. It does. It really does. It matters. When we appoint facilitators, we our minimum qualification is a master's, and then we try for PhDs. Okay, it matters. Your qualification matters. But what matters even more is what you do with your qualification and how you apply it back in the place of work or your own business. And so we want you to be here or here at one of these graduations. And that's the final slide. I wish you well. I wish you well, and I wish you an inspiring journey. And we are here with you along the way. Thank you very much.